Namaste, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here, joining me in practice. Let's find comfort in the seat. Let your palms rest, close your eyes, or slowly let the eyelids start softening down. If you sense you need extra support as you are coming or arriving into the seat, perhaps a wall that you have in your room, maybe extra pillows, perhaps the back of a sofa or something that can help you, please find it. And take a couple of moments to, like I said, arrive. Feel your bones in contact with the support that you have beneath you. And as you take a few cycles, the next ones, give yourself the opportunity to drop in and to feel. Feel your organs inside your pelvis. And feel the breath brushing inside your belly. Even the movement of the diaphragm as you inhale and exhale. This week I've been sharing in many of the practices the concept of a slow breath as connected to the element of water. So slow breath is energetically paired with water. And at the same time, as we make the breath, or we attune to the breath being slow, with that rhythm or fluidity of water, we are inviting our nervous system to feel safe, calm, slow, and at ease. Fast breath, on the other side or the other end, is paired with the element of fire. And the element of fire and fast-paced breath are also paired with the sympathetic nervous system, which is the one that is activated when we are in this fight or flight reaction, when we are breathing high in our chest, perhaps due to anxiety or fear. So throughout the practice, we try to return over and over to the fluidity in the breath like water. And that slowing down that we are inviting through the breath is an opportunity to observe, to sit with, and to work with compassion and awareness. I'm sharing a very short piece from Thich Nhat Hanh that I really find useful and I found this week. It's called Running. In every one of us, there's a tendency to run. There's a belief that happiness is not possible here and now, so we have a tendency to run into the future in order to look for happiness. That habit energy may have been transmitted to us by our father, our mother, or our ancestors. Running has become a habit. Even in our dreams, we continue to run and look for something. The practice of mindfulness helps us to stop running and see that everything we have been looking for is here. Many of us have been running all our lives. One mindful step can help us to stop running. When the mind is focused on breathing and walking, we are unifying body, speech, and mind, and we are already home. Invite both your palms to rest in front of your solar plexus, just letting them rest there in front of your chest, your heart, and see if you can connect with the rhythm that you can pick up from your heartbeat and the breath. And in this place, give yourself a moment to set the intention you want to bring to your practice. And as you visualize that intention, you bring it into your heart, into your inner gaze, as a reminder to anchor on your intention over and over again, and to act accordingly to find what you are looking for and what you're looking to get or feel in this practice, through it and at the end of it. Then we bring the palms together into the Namaste position to open with the Om sound. If you choose to join me one time, inhaling deeply through the nose. Big exhale. Breathing in again when ready. Then we gently connect head down to the hands and the heart, the three together for a moment. Releasing the palms, lifting the head and opening the eyes when you're ready. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Let's move into our mats, and we're going to start lying down facing up. So a moment to come onto your back and extend your legs just for a moment here to drop in the supine position, and just take a few breaths here. Reminder again that we are going to try and move with the fluidity of water, creating that connection between the breath, the movement, and the opportunity to be an observer without judgment throughout the practice. Good. When you are ready to bend your knees, bend both your knees, place your feet on your mat, and bring your right knee into your chest, or just pick one knee, it's fine, and just hug it in for a moment into the chest. If you want, you can start awakening perhaps that same side foot by flexing and pointing the foot and also the toes and creating circles there. You may hear popping or clicking sounds, which is normal. And always, like I said, observing or sensing if there's any sensitivity or pain. Good. After you do that, We are going to create a little basket with the hands, lacing the fingers, putting the hands in the thick part of your hamstring, so behind that leg. And as you press the thigh into the hands, just first we go with that. Just press the thigh into the hands. And after you have that activation, send the leg up and start creating a little bit more tension through the contraction of the front muscles into the bones, pushing up through the heel. And if you can, just also add the base of your toes. So we are activating all the way up to the foot. If you can as well, relax the shoulders. If this doesn't feel good and you have a belt and you want to use the belt instead, you can put it there. We breathe in. Exhaling softly, finding that slow pace, that rhythm that feels natural for you without being forced, fast, or agitated. Last breath here. And then we'll bend that knee and put the foot down. Take a breath here. Just notice perhaps tingling or burning sensations in that first leg. And then we'll bring the second knee into the chest. Take a moment there, first pressing the knee towards the ribs, and then starting to create some circles with that second foot, pointing and flexing, switching the sides, the direction that you're going a few times. Again, maybe some popping, clicking, clanking sounds in there. Good, and then after a few of those, again, I'm going to create that basket with my fingers. My hands are laced. I'm pressing first the thigh into the hands without extending the leg. First activating that quad group, pressing into the hands. I also feel a little bit of the tension in my arms. So I'm going to try and release the shoulders down. And after I have that activation in the quad area, I'm going to start lifting and lengthening through that whole leg, pushing through the heel and extending also through the base of the toes. A few breaths here. Notice if it feels a little bit more fiery than the first side or perhaps not. And of course, if the extension of the leg feels like it's too much, you keep the knee micro bend or just a touch right bend if the lower back also feels sensitive or there's a lot of pulling in that back area of the leg, okay? One more breath. Good, and then we slowly bend that knee, we put the foot down, take one breath here again. Good, and then we'll return to the first leg. So again, I'm going to bend my right knee. Well, for me it was the right, but the first knee into the chest. And again, I'm going to now lace the fingers and put the hands behind the thigh. This time the difference will be that I'm going to extend the opposite leg and push through the heel towards the end of the mat. And then again, I'm going to start activating that first leg into my hands, pushing through the heel, extending also through the base of the toes. And at the same time, I'm going to try and make the opposite leg really heavy onto the mat and push through the heel, okay? So a few breaths here. Now more activation through both inner legs, inner heels. And if you can, it's a subtle thing, but if you can, the leg that is on your mat, grounded, see if you can internally rotate it perhaps a smidge. What do I mean by that? That the inseam of your extended leg wants to come towards your mat. So it's turning in just a little. One more breath. And then we bend that first knee, hug it in one more time, and put that foot down, and we'll switch to the second side. Second leg, knee comes into the chest. I still have my first leg with the foot down on the mat, I'm bringing that knee in towards the ribs. Then when you're ready, again, that basket behind the second leg, extending the leg up. I'm activating the front muscles and the kneecap onto the back of the leg, extending through the base of the toes as well. Once I'm there, I'm going to now extend the opposite leg onto the mat. And I'm going to try and make both legs really active by contracting the front muscles in the leg, pushing through the heels. And then that subtle addition in that extended leg, making it heavy to the earth. And also the inseam of that leg moving into the mat, like if I want to internally rotate it. It's a smidge, it's not huge, okay? It's more subtle than anything. So stay there for a couple of breaths. One more. Good, and then we slowly bend that second leg, put the foot down, and then extend that leg and shake a little bit, both legs from side to side, a little bit like windshield wipers. Good. Okay, now we are going to rebend both knees, and I'm putting my feet a touch wider than my sitting bones. And now I'm going to let both knees drop to one side. And with my right hand, I'm going to bring that right hand, I'm going with my legs to the right. So I'm going to bring the right hand towards my left hip. And I'm going to push with my hand gently that left hip down. So I'm kind of like trying to stretch it away from my body a little. And as I do that, I'm going to also extend the left arm up behind me, okay? So it's a little bit of an extra stretch there. I'm pushing gently with my right hand into my left hip to push it a little bit down towards the end of my mat, and the left arm is up above my head. Inhale, exhale. One more breath. Good. Now on this same side, before I switch, I'm going to bring the left knee a little higher. So now I'm creating more of a twist there. So the left knee coming to the right a little bit higher. And then from there with the right hand, again, I'm going to push that left hip a little further away from my body and try to drop the left shoulder down. So this is more like a regular twist. And if you want, that left arm can come a little bit more to the side. And see if you can, again, it's a subtle thing, but bring the right side of your belly to the left. Good, supine twist. And then slowly we release the right arm. We bring both knees back towards the vertical. We reset the feet. They are a little wide apart. And now I'm going to send both my knees to the left. And from there, I'm going to use my left hand to the right hip just to push it a little. It's mostly reference. So the hip, instead of coming all the way to the left, stays more into the right side. And the right arm comes up and over. And it's okay if the knees are not completely touching down or coming all the way, right? We just let them be where they are. Inhale here. And exhale. Good. And then after that next cycle, no rush. We are going to bring this time the right knee over to the left. So I'm adding a deeper twist here. And this time my left hand is going to push again that right hip. So I'm trying to even hook my thumb into the groin or the hip flexor, that little cave in between the leg and the hip. And I'm going to just push it out towards the end of the mat. And if you want, you can move that right arm a little to the side so we can release that shoulder. Inhale and exhale a few times, slow pace, fluid, watery-like breath. Soft face, relaxing the jaws. One more cycle. Good, and then we release the hand. We bring both knees back to the vertical. Inhale, both arms overhead. And then roll over to one side. We press up and we'll come up into the hands and knees position. If you need a blanket to pad your knees, please do so. And in the hands and knees, we are going to make sure that we place the wrists under the shoulders. I usually like to pivot my fingers just half an inch towards the sides of my mat so I get a little extra space in the chest. And then from here, we'll take 3 times the cat-cow, inhaling, slowly starting to open up the front of the spine, sending the shoulders back and chin gently up. Exhaling, sending the sacrum down and in, drawing the navel into the spine, chin towards the chest. And then again, inhalation to open up. Exhale to slowly create that arching the cat pose. One more. Good. From here, returning to the tabletop, I'm going to keep my hips over the knees and just extend my arms towards the top of my mat, pushing the floor away. I'm going to try and bring my chest down towards the mat. It doesn't matter how far it's going, just a little bit more opening through the underarms, the armpits, and the chest, sending the sitting bones up and back for a moment. And then from there, see if you can squeeze your sitting bones towards each other and down towards your knees for a moment. It will feel a little bit more contained, okay? So when I let my sitting bones go up and back, it's more arched, right? More back bendy. And when I squeeze the sitting bones and I send them down, it creates a little bit more of that container into the trunk. Good, then from there, I'm going to come back to the tabletop. Again, I'm spinning my fingers just half an inch out. Move your knees a few inches behind your hips. Widen your feet so they are almost at the edges of your mat. And from there, we'll start moving up towards the downward facing dog. I usually keep my knees bent for the first few moments, toning the arms, pushing through the base of your thumbs and the forefingers, and then starting to feel that length in the sides of the body. You can swing your hips from side to side, feel a little bit of that stretching sensation, one way and the other, maybe bending deeply through one knee and then the opposite one, or even walking the feet or walking the dog like we call it, until you feel a little bit more settled there. And if you want, you can either keep the feet as wide as they are or bring them a little closer. And then we're going to try and start drawing the pelvic floor up towards your navel, the lower ribs towards the hips, and firm the hip bones towards one another as you bring the heels down towards your mat. They may not touch down, we don't really care. It's just connecting more of the front leg muscles into the back like we did when we were supine, and also connecting into the core. Relax the head here and the neck and take a few breaths. Can we make these breaths be fluid, be peaceful, not agitated, but water-like, imagining As the water moves through rocks, we still keep a pace that it's settled. And then from there, we'll walk the hands back towards the feet and draw the lower belly into your body. Relax the trunk over the legs. If you need to keep your knees bent, please do, just for a moment here. Good, let's activate inner arches, lifting up towards your inner shins. Spread your toes, drawing the navel in, bring your hands to the hips, and then slowly pressing into the foot, we come all the way up to standing. Good, from here, from the standing, if you want, you bring the feet a little closer. I'm staying here so we can go back to the down dog. Inhaling, we'll send arms up overhead. Lace the fingers, press your palms up, lengthen through the sides, draw the sacrum down, and bring your front thighs towards the backs of your legs. I want you to imagine you have a block in between your upper thighs, and you're really hugging that block or squeezing that block with the inner thighs, and you want to send it towards the wall you have behind you. So feel that activation through the legs, lengthen through the sides, ribs in and down, and then we exhale and release. Good, from here we inhale, arms up, overhead again. Opening the chest, we dive slowly into that fold. And from there, we walk ourselves back into downward facing dog. Inhaling here and exhale. Good, let's come on to the plank pose. Inhaling slowly, coming towards the top of a push-up. And then we exhale back to downward facing dog. Good, we'll do two more like this. Draw the pelvic floor up, push the mat away, inhale, coming into the plank pose. Tone the front of your body, firm the shoulder blades into the back of your chest. Exhale back. And one more, inhaling. Good, from here we'll take the knees down, sliding the torso a little forward, chest first and then the chin, sliding all the way down on your mat. Bring your hands right outside your mat with your fingertips touching, and from there extending the legs, roll the shoulders, inhaling to cobra pose. Exhaling, we return. Hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes, lifting up. We go back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, deflate, let it all go. Good. Let's go from here, inhaling your right leg up and back. Good. Keep the hips firm into one another. Draw the navel in. And we are going to come to the plank and bring the right knee towards the chest. And once you get there, push the floor away again and lift that knee a little higher. And see if you can send that right knee to the left, just towards the left elbow, and then back to the center. Inhale, send the right knee up and back, and then bring that right foot again towards the front, right foot forward, left knee down. Good, we come up into the low lunge or Anjaneyasana. Good, once you're here, firm the hips in again. We'll inhale and send the arms up overhead and hook the thumbs, like that. Doesn't matter which thumb is in front, just if you can remember which one, lengthen through the sides. Again, we draw the pelvic floor up, front ribs down towards the hips, and we firm the hip bones into the midline. Just lengthen through the sides, keep the chest open. One more breath. Good, and now I'm going to let my hips move forward a little. As you can see, right, I'm pushing or gently letting the hips come forward. I'm still lengthening and lifting through the pelvic floor, and I'm going to send the chest a little higher and a little further back. It's not extreme, okay? So it's just a little bit more lifting the sternum and the solar plexus, opening up. Good, then exhale, release that. Back to down dog. Big inhale here. Exhale. Good, second side. Inhale your left leg up and back. Firm the hips, firm the pelvic floor up. Good, let's come to that plank with the knee to the chest. Once you get there, press the floor down and lift a little higher. Bring that knee towards the opposite elbow. Come back up, left leg up. Left foot comes forward, right knee comes down. We come up, again that crescent or Anjaneyasana. Good, and from here again, arms up overhead. If you remember, you hook the opposite thumb. If you're not sure, you switch and you notice if it feels funny or not. It might be that one. And then from there, again, we draw from the pelvic floor. We lengthen through the sides. First, just mainly the sides, firming the hips. Breathing in. Good. And then I'm going to just let my hips shift a little. So I'm pushing a little more, a little extra opening in the hip flexor on that right side. And then I'm letting the sternum from the navel lift up, 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 and a little further back. Slow, steady, peaceful breath. Notice. We return, we put the hands down, we go back to downward facing dog. Good, we inhale, we come towards the plank. We exhale, you can use your knees again or bend the elbows coming all the way down. Good, this time we keep the hands under the shoulders for the cobra pose. Inhale, draw the navel up, shoulders back. Exhale. Good, up we go. Tabletop first, downward facing dog. Good, and then slowly bring your knees down, sit back for a moment, and make sure that you have something that resembles a block for the next couple of things that we are going to do. So I'm going to leave my block in the front so I can catch it. And if you have two, you can put two also, it's the same. Okay, good. Now from here we go back into downward facing dog. Good. And this time we're going to start on the left side. So I can show you first towards the camera so you can see, okay? So we are going to go from down dog, inhale your left leg up and back. Good, now bend that left knee and open it towards the right. We know this, many of us, we do that fire hydrant, it's called, or three-leg dog. Now see once you're there, if you can bring your sacrum into your body, firm your hips again into one another, and see if you can send that left knee a little more to the right. And once you're there, send your right ribs into your body and level your shoulders as much as you can. Good, then I'm going to re-extend left leg up and back. Bring that left knee towards the chest, lift it up as much as you can, and then bring that left foot forward, right knee comes down. Good, now I'm going to take my block and I'm going to put it right outside the right side of my mat. Okay, so it's not under my shoulder, I'm sending it a little further out. I put it in the medium height, but you can go higher or lower, okay? Good, from here, my hand is going to be supported by that block, and with my left hand, with the thumb, I'm going to go into the hip crease. So you see how like if you can even like curl your forefingers. I'm putting the thumb right there in the groin, and I'm going to push gently down and back. So what I'm doing is to push my hip back by using my thumb. Good. And trying to lengthen it towards the back of my mat. Okay? Good. From here, I'm going to roll the shoulders, open the chest, and lengthen and twist towards the left. Okay? So I'm using my left hand to send that groin down and back and open up. Good. Bring the shoulder blades down your back, lift through the center of your chest up towards the ceiling, and then we'll add that left arm up. One more breath. Good. Then release the left hand, put the block in front, bring the hands down, back to downward facing dog. And before I switch sides, I'm going to do one more thing on that left. Inhale the left leg up and back. Good. Firm the hips, draw the belly in, and see if you can bring that left foot outside your left hand. So bend the knee, hollow the belly, bring the foot in right outside the hand, and then send it back to downward facing dog. Good. Second side. Inhaling, right leg goes up and back. Bend the right knee, opening towards the left. Once you're there, firm the hips towards one another, sacrum in. Draw the left ribs in. Send that right knee a little further to the left if possible, and then level the shoulders as much as you can. One more breath. Re-extend the right leg up and back. Good. Then bring that right knee towards the chest as high as you can. Right foot comes forward. Left knee comes down. And I'm going to take my block to the second side. It's right outside my mat on the left. Okay? Good. Once I'm there, maybe the highest will be easier. Good. And now I'm going to let the hips shift a little bit to the front. I'm going to use my right hand with my thumb onto my hip crease, and I'm going to push it down and back. So I'm trying to send that right outer hip or the whole hip towards the back of my mat. And I'm pressing, and I'm using that also to shift the chest and the belly towards the right. Once I get there, I roll the shoulders back, lifting through the front spine. Good. Keep the action of the right hip crease moving back, and then send the right arm up. One more breath. Good. Then we release, right hand down, and we go back to downward facing dog. And we had that little trick that I did at the end. Right leg goes up and back. Right foot outside the right hand. Good. Back to downward facing dog. Bring your knees down. Sit back into a child's pose and take 1 minute of rest. We come back to the breath. We take a moment. Good. Notice the pace of your breath and see if you can return to slowing down, to a fluid breath, to the sensations in this moment. Good, a few more seconds, resting here. Returning also to your intention. If you forgot or let it slip somewhere, bring it back. Beautiful. From here, we make our way back into down dog. We'll use again the block. I'm going back up. And again, I'll start on my left side, inhaling the left leg up and back. Firm the hips, draw the navel in. Bend that left knee, bring it into the chest. Push the floor away, lift that knee up. Send the knee to the right. Back to the center. Back up with that leg. Bring that left foot forward. And this time we'll keep the right knee off the mat. Now again, I'm going to use my block right outside my mat. It's right outside, like right next to the line of my mat, okay? Good, and again, it can be super tall. I'm using it in the tall setting. Good, again, similar idea. This time my back leg, even though you can keep the knee bent as much as needed, it's lifted off the mat. And with my left thumb, again, I'm going to get into that left groin and I'm going to push that hip back, okay? Once I'm there this time, I'm going to try and lift my right hip a little and tone my right thigh. You see how it's dropping a little? If you can, see if you can make that right leg, the back leg more toned. Good, and then from there again, I'm going to roll the shoulders back, shift the hip, the chest and the belly towards the left. And I'm going to add another trick. You might be feeling it here, I am. So from here, now I'm going to send my left arm up and over, but instead of sending it straight up to the ceiling, I'm going to bring it over my left ear, like if I'm doing side angle pose. So I'm sending it towards the right corner of my mat, or right diagonal, okay? Right shoulder back, open the chest. Keep sending the left hip crease back and toning the right leg. It's a nice big stretch here and twist. Good, then release the left hand down, right hand down, back to down dog. Good, from here we'll take the plank. We come all the way down to the mat. And this time I'm going to bring my arms alongside my torso. You can grab a scarf or a belt or a towel if you have and you need it, or lace the fingers behind the lower back. Roll the shoulders, extend the arms, extend through the legs. And when you're ready, inhale, draw the navel in, glutes are active, inner thighs active, and open through the chest. One more breath. Then release, hands under the shoulders, back your toes, and up we go, downward facing dog. Good, take another breath. I'm just gonna turn so you can see. Good, okay. Second side, right leg goes up and back. Right knee comes towards the chest. Lift up, push the mat away, send that right knee to the left. Return, back up, inhale. Exhale, right foot comes forward. Good, now my block is going to be outside the left side of my mat. Good, and instead of bringing the knee down, I'm keeping that back knee up. Right thumb into the right hip crease. And I'm going to push it back, okay, as much as I can. I'm going in there, down and back, and then I'm going to try and lift that back inner thigh so the inseam of my left leg is really toned and it's moving up towards the ceiling. Good, bring the belly and the chest towards the right. And when you're ready, right arm goes up and over. Shoulders back, mainly the left one, and feel that sensation of the side angle. We are stretching that right side all the way towards the left upper corner of your mat. Keep imagining you have your right thumb into your right hip crease and you're sending it back. One more breath. Then slowly come down, release. Back to down dog we go. Good. Inhaling plank. Exhale, lower. Good. In this one, we are going to bring the elbows in front of your chest, right under the shoulders. Palms are down, extend through the legs. And we take the Sphinx pose. Draw the navel in, lift through the front of your spine, send the shoulders back. Notice the quality of the breath. One more here. Tone legs, tone glutes. Release. Good. Bring your hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes, back into the tabletop, and up we go. Downward facing dog. Good. Walk your hands back to your feet. Drop the torso over the legs. Bend the knees if you need. Let the neck and the head release. One more breath. Good. And this time, to come back up to standing, instead of lengthening the spine, I'm going to let it be rounded. So I'm drawing navel up, pressing through the feet. The last thing to come up is my head. I'm going to try and stack my vertebrae one at a time as I push the floor down, spreading the toes, slowly lifting. Slow, 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 almost like going through honey, coming into the standing posture. Deep inhale here in Tadasana, and exhale. Good, beautiful. Okay, now from here we're going to try a new shape. So I'm going to stay sideways so you can see what I'm going to do, but then I'll come maybe a little closer in case you need me. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is to cross my right leg behind the left, and I'm going to put my right knee into my shin. So it's resting right behind the calf muscle and it's pressing. So you already are going to feel something there. I don't know if you can see, but my back heel is lifted. It can be halfway lifted or all the way, but you will need to have it a little lifted, okay? So it's almost like if I'm going into a chair pose, but with an extra balance challenge, okay? Good, then from there, I'm going to sit a little lower. Here we go. And then I'm going to try and keep that right hip going back and bring my left elbow to the right. Okay, so I'm trying to cross to the other side. Good, just stay there and see if you can put both hands together. Whoops. Good, then we come to the center, both hands to the hips, and we are going to the other side. I'm going to try and hook my right elbow to the left knee and bring the belly up and over to the left, and then put my palms together. See if you can send belly and chest up to the ceiling. Good, then back and slowly up and shake it. Ooh, it burns. Okay, shake it a little, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. We are going on to the second side. I'm coming a little closer just in case. So now, I'm going to send my left leg behind. My left knee is coming behind the shin, so it's pressing into the calf muscle. I'm on carpet, so this is going to be a challenge. Good, and then from there, I'm leaning back a little, like if I'm taking the chair pose. This can be it. Maybe you put the blocks in front of you and you stay here, okay? Good. First move that I did was towards, this time should be towards the left. So we are going to try and push that left hip back And bring the right elbow to the left and go just for a moment onto that side. I'm trying to bring belly and chest up. It's a bit of a challenge. And then I'm gonna go the other way. Hooking left elbow to the right, lifting the abdomen and drawing the organs up and towards the right, and pressing my palms towards one another. Slowly back to center, and then up, and shake it. Yay! Okay, back to the mat, shake it a little. Good, now from the back of your mat, widen your feet, toes pointing out, and we'll come into a squat. And you can shift a little bit from side to side, and then come to the center. Good, once you find your squat, maybe it's with a block under the sitting bones, maybe you put a pillow, maybe there is a blanket rolled under the heels, it's all good. Maybe you're using a chair as a support or the back of your bed to support your spine, it's all good. Let's bring the palms, let's make fists, and we're going to do some rolls here for the wrists. So let them do a few rolls, one way and the other. Good, and then you can just press one palm with the other hand right in and out. I'm doing a little bit of stretching in and out for one wrist and then the other. Good, and then back again. I'm going to let my left ear drop to the left shoulder. Back to center, right ear to the right shoulder. Back to center, one more. Side to side, slowly. Good, let's put the hands down, lift through the hips slowly, bring your feet to be parallel to each other. Drop the trunk and slowly walk yourself back to downward facing dog. Good. One more, as we did before with a little change. Left leg goes up and back. Draw the navel in. Left knee comes towards the chest. Lift it up. Bring that left foot forward in between the hands. And again, grab your block so it's right outside the right side of your mat. Tall or medium, the way it feels comfy, okay? Now what I'm going to change from what I did before is that I'm going to try and straighten both legs. Tone the inner thighs. And again, with my left thumb, I'm gonna go into that hip crease and push that hip back, okay? I don't know if you can see, but my back heel is not completely touching down. It's okay. It's like a high lunge, a little bit modified with both legs that are straight, okay? Now from there, I'm going to lengthen the spine, bring the belly in, and again, I'm pushing that left hip back, bringing or spinning the belly and the chest towards the left. So it's like a revolve triangle pose, but with the help of that block on the right, like a high lunge. Good. Tone both legs, send that left hip back, bring the chest up to the ceiling, and then send that left arm up. One more breath. Good. Keep the same shape. Send the left arm up over your ear towards the right diagonal, like we did before. Lean back if you can a little. Good. We return. And now I'm going to just bend the front knee and re-extend. Two more. Bend the front knee. Re-extend. This is the last part. Bend the front knee. Re-extend. Good. Left hand comes down. Right hand down. Back to down dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Second side, inhaling the right leg up and back. Draw the ribs in. Bring that right knee into the chest. Lift everything up. Put that right foot on the floor. Block to the left side. I'm staying here so you can see the other side of the shape, okay? So now this time I'm going to straighten both legs as much as I can. And I'm going to stay with my block right to the outside of the mat, okay? Now from here, I'm going to use my right thumb onto my right hip crease and push it back. So that will tone and you will feel it possibly in the outer side of that right leg or glute or hip. I'm pushing, pushing, pushing back so I can start lifting through the abdomen and the ribs, shoulders back and twist towards the right. I'm trying to draw that front line in my spine up towards the ceiling, and then I'm sending the right arm up. My left heel is not touching down. I'm just trying to tone that back leg as I send the right hip back. Good, and then I'm sending that right arm up and over to the left. One last breath. Good, back to center with that arm. And now I'm going to bend the front knee and re-extend. Two more. Bending, re-extending. Last one. Good. Rebend the front knee, put your hands down. Back to downward facing dog. Good, last one coming into the plank. Come all the way down to your mat. Good. And now here, we'll go a little further like we did before, extend through the legs. Good, first bring your forearms in front. Take a moment here, roll the shoulders back, draw the navel up. Good, I'm going to activate the glutes, send the sacrum in, bend your right knee, see if you can go with your right hand and catch the foot. Push the foot into the hand. If this feels like it's too much, you'll switch one side and then the other. If you feel like you are okay going with the second side and grabbing the foot, go there. Make sure you're activating your glutes. Sacrum in, draw the navel in and up, lifting through the sternum, and we push the feet into the hands, and we go a little further. One more breath, shoulders down. Then we release. Put the forehead onto your hands and shake your hips from side to side. You can even move the legs like I'm showing, one way and the other. And here we take a few breaths, trying to send that flow into your lower back. As you feel the breath, when you're inhaling, possibly the belly is pressing onto your mat, right, and expanding. See if you can make that air go into the lower back. A few more breaths. We take the air to soften not only the sensations of the back bend, but also to return to a fluid breath. Take a few more moments. Last full breath here. Exhaling, calm rhythm. And then slowly from there, bend your knees and bring yourself onto a seat like I am. So from there, just bend the knees, come back slowly up towards a seat. Good, and once you're there, we'll bring the legs in front. So just send the legs in front of you, shake them a little. If you like to have a little extra lift for your seat, you can use a blanket or a pillow. I'm just showing us an example. I'm going to elevate my sitting bones just a bit, and then I'm sitting tall. Good. Again, I'm going to start on the left side so you can see me. You can go with me or take the leg that you want. Bringing the knee into the chest and the heel as close to the sitting bone as you can. My opposite leg is extended. Sitting tall. Inseam of the extended leg is pushing down towards the floor. With my opposite arm to the leg that is bent, I'm going to hug that knee or hold it in towards the belly or towards the chest. Opposite hand is behind me to support that twist, lifting the front spine and sending the abdomen, the organs, the chest towards the side of that bent knee. For me, it's the left. I'm going to try and create that action of really lifting and drawing my abdomen in and to the left side so I can create more action in my organs. Shoulders down, chin to the left if you're going with me onto the left side. One more breath. And then slowly returning back to the neutral, extending that left leg or the leg that you started on. Good, second side when ready. I'm bending second leg, bringing the knee to the chest, heel close to the sitting bones, extending through the leg that it's not doing the twist now. And I'm going to try and make that inseam of the extended leg heavy onto the floor. Okay, sitting tall. Good, my right hand for me, because I'm going to the right, is going to be my helper behind me. Left arm, if you're going to the right, holding that right leg. I'm going to check what happens with the extended leg. Sometimes when we go into the twist, we forget about that leg and it starts dropping to the side or become floppy. So see if you can keep it active. Again, inseam of the leg pressing down. And then I'm going to lift abdomen, organs, and send them all towards that right side or the side you're going towards, bringing the bent knee into the abdomen or the ribs, shoulders down, chin to the back of your mat. Last breath here with relaxed jaws, soft eye gaze, ears heavy. Then we return slowly towards the neutral. Extend that leg, shake them both a little. Good. I'm going to, before I take my support out, bend both knees. With your hands, grab your feet if they are far, or it feels much easier to go with a strap or a scarf and hold the feet there. You can do that. I'm starting with my knees bent first because I want us to hold the inner legs towards each other, push through your heels, and lengthen the sides of your torso. Send the shoulders back. And the shoulder blades, the scapulae, they are sliding down the back, okay, as much as you can. We stay here. The sternum is like if I'm telescoping it up towards the skies in front of me. Good. Then I'm going to send my heels a little further forward, just a little less of that bend of the knees. and reset what I did before. Shoulders back, lift through the front, send the sternum up, press into the sitting bones, inner thighs towards each other and down. Good, and the third version is for the ones who feel that it's okay to extend the legs a little more. If you feel like that's not for you today, don't go there, stay in the one that we just did. And again, we try to lengthen through the sides, shoulder blades down, lift through the sternum, and go a little further into the fold. Last breath here. Then slowly coming back to the seat. Take a breath in and out. Good. Then I'm going to move out from the support. If you had one like me, just take it to the side. If you want to keep a block or something that resembles a block with you, you can do that. We are going to come onto our backs with the feet down, just a touch wider than the sitting bones for a bridge pose, which will open again and give us a little bit of a back bend. If you need the support under the sacrum, you add the block, okay? I'm going to move my shoulders and my arms down towards my feet. I'm going to make sure that I feel both inner and outer edges of my feet grounded on the mat, and that I'm not letting my knees drop in towards each other for this shape. I'm trying to keep them where they are lined up with my heels. And then you can, if you want, use your elbows to push the mat down. And with that, I'm going to help myself to lift up. So I'm going to activate glutes, send the sacrum in, bring the hamstrings into my bones. I'm pushing the elbows down so I can, I'm going to say, squeeze my shoulder blades towards each other. And then from there, I'm going to either lace the fingers behind the lower back or hold the mat instead, pushing through the inner outer feet. Glutes are super active. Lift the outer hips up. Feel that opening in the chest. Then slowly release through the arms and very gently return to the mat. Stay there where you are for a moment. And then we are going to bring the feet like the butterfly, Baddha Konasana, but instead of having the soles of the feet together, put one shin on top of the other, like if you are sitting cross-legged, but lying down. So it doesn't matter which leg goes on top, just remember which one. Stay here for a moment. You can bring your palms to your abdomen, to the pelvis, or just to the sides. Two more breaths. Good. And then just switch the cross. So the leg that was on top, just put it under, crossing opposite shin. And we'll take a few more cycles here. Let the back of your skull start melting, spreading down your mat. The back of your shoulders. Start noticing how all the organs, the fluids, they start to settle. Good, and then slowly bring the knees towards one another, splitting again the feet. Make the feet a little wide again, not super wide, but a little wider than your usual. Open the arms to the sides and let both knees drop to one side, let's say the left like I'm doing, and then if you're going to the left side, put the left foot on top of your right knee, if that doesn't bring any pain, and relax the shoulders down for the last twist. Chin can go to the right or stay at the center. Good, then slowly release that left foot, bring both knees back to vertical. Let's go to the last side, both knees to the right, right foot on top of the left knee. If you're choosing to add that extra weight onto the left side, chin can go to the left or keep it at the center. Stay there for a few breaths. Good, and then slowly release that foot that it's weighing the opposite leg. Go back to center. If you want, you can bring both knees into the chest, swing from side to side. And then prepare for Shavasana. We make ourselves comfortable again as we return, releasing the whole body. We allow it to be held, supported by the core of earth. And again, we find that stillness, rest, and silence give us the chance of integrating the whole practice into our body, our soul, our hearts, our minds, and the breath. Give yourself the opportunity to take a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling, deflating, releasing through the mouth. And then slowly, as you feel appropriate, bring movement to the fingers, the toes, feet, hands. An invitation to keep the face soft and the eyes kind as you reanimate the body appropriately. And maybe you choose to extend your arms overhead for another stretch, or to bend the elbows and bring them into your abdomen. Any way you feel comfortable, coming back to your body, your room, and consciousness again of the breath. Make that happen. And then find your way into one side by bending your knees, rolling over, and using your hands, your elbows, forearms to press up and find our last seat to say goodbye. We sit in gratitude, finding an elegant yet easeful seat. And with our palms coming together in gratitude to the heart center, we are reminded again that we can become one with our breath. Fluidity like water, softness, ease, pausing to sit with what is. Possibly lots of thoughts and emotions in this shelter in place moment in our lives. And the more we can return to the breath, to notice, the more we give ourselves the chance to go deeper into our own self.